We're talking about a certain adult website today in particular. Obviously, the title of the website is censored, but I'm sure you know what we're talking about here. I will leave the original video linked down in the description below. I always highly encourage you to go check it out for yourself and support those creators as well. I'm not here to shame anybody. You want to record yourself and put it on the internet for everybody to see, do it. When it starts becoming a little too accessible, that's when it gets a little scary to our children. It seems like I can't even scroll through Facebook anymore without there being like spam comments or listen to this voice memo, and you don't want to listen to the voice memo. Maybe you do, I don't know. Again, we're not here to judge. But the thing is, exposing children that young to things like that, material like that, it can have a pretty severe impact. Now, to some, it might not really affect them. I don't want to say at all, because I feel like to some extent, everybody is affected to some extent by that sort of explicit material. However, for some, it can lead to addictions. Again, this is not just this platform that we're going to talk about. Again, I'll get a little more into my own personal experience toward the end of the video. That will be fun to relive. But I think it's important to share with you guys to really kind of be aware of what's out there. Set you guys up a little bit. Sorry, nothing fancy. Just got my laptop here. But again, the original video will be down below, so go check it out. All right, let's get started. I haven't made it through the entire interview. I only got a few minutes in, so she begins talking about how much content is actually uploaded to this website annually. We're not talking a decade. We're not talking even 5 years. 1 year. I'll allow her to share those statistics because they're a little wild. But the question lies is how much of that is actually being monitored? How much of this is actually legal? And by legal, I mean the actors involved in the videos. How easy is the setup process? All that fun stuff. She's gonna get into now.
Obviously, when sexual abuse, Pornhub accountable for rape, sex trafficking, child abuse began. And that was in the context of over a decade in the fight against trafficking at that point. And I had been paying attention to the headlines, obviously, when sexual abuse stories, trafficking stories came up. I was paying attention. And one of the stories that came up at late 2019 that really arrested my attention. It was a story of a 15-year-old girl, and she was from Broward County, Florida, and she was missing for an entire year, and she was finally found when her distraught mother was tipped off by a Pornhub user that he recognized her daughter on the site.
I'm trying to find the story that she's talking about right now to give you guys a little bit of context. I don't know exactly. I just took the information she just said and put it into Google, and I'm not really finding anything, which is a little weird that it's not coming right up.
And she was found in 58 videos being abused for profit. These are monetized videos. Police, were dispatched, and they actually rescued her out of his apartment.
I didn't want to come off rude or anything. I was still trying to just Google the stories that she was talking about to give a little bit more of context, but I'm not finding anything right away.
And suddenly, an idea came to mind. I just said, you know what, how are they vetting these videos? How is this abuse ending up on Pornhub? And an idea just flashed into mind and said, I'm going to test the upload system for myself, and I'm going to see what does it take to upload content to Pornhub. So put the baby down, got out my phone, took a video of the computer screen and the rug in the dark room, and I uploaded it to Pornhub, and I found out what millions of people already knew. Because at that time, millions of videos were being uploaded every year. In fact, the amount of content that was being uploaded to Pornhub, if you put those videos back to back, just the amount of content they would upload in 1 year, it would take 169 years to watch if you put those videos back to back. That's how much content was being uploaded.
Or had been uploaded total, you mean?
No, per year.
Wow.
Yes. That's not even counting the images.
Unbelievable.
So I tested it. I found out, like I said, what millions of people already knew, and that was that all it took to upload was an email address. So in under 10 minutes, anybody with an iPhone, anywhere in the world, can upload a video, and they were not checking age. They were not...
Sorry. Okay, so within real time, obviously I cannot show my phone, I just signed up an account. Now to actually, and all it needed was an email and a password. I'm doing this with you on camera. So there's a verification code that was just sent to my email. Now, to actually post content, I would hope that they would require ID, other verifications other than just an email and a password. However, when models are also featured in videos, they're also supposed to have verifications, so I don't understand how the tagging would work. I do understand how the monetization would work though, because it would work similarly to like YouTube. So if there's a website where people are not paying a subscription, then you're able to monetize off of your videos by the ads that are in your video. So you'll get like 2 to 10 cents per view on your video. I'm assuming PH, I'm going to call it PH for short, and other websites like PH would monetize and pay their actors the same way. But yeah, no, let me go into, I'm nearly there. Email verified. Okay. It's offering to give me a tour. We're going to skip that. Okay, so now that I actually have my profile created, I have an account created. Okay, obviously I didn't put a username. None of that baloney. Can you see the logo so you can actually see? Well, it wants to focus on my face. Can you see the logo so you can actually see them on that website? Okay, so now I'm going to go hit upload. Okay, so it says video and photo uploads are only available to members of our model program and content partner program. All right, so let me hit model program. It's like a little link. Join the model program. This is what I would want to see. Okay, so step number 1 would be to create a free account. Step number 2 is to submit a model application. So I want to see what they're requiring. So I would need my full legal name, my date of birth. Y'all, I don't care. Here's my name. It's not like I'm going to upload anything. Relax. This is for science. Okay, contact information. I can't show you like my information. I'm not going to dox myself. But I asked for a phone number, my address, city, country, state, zip code. I'm going to hit the next page. Then it says your account information. So it's asking me for a stage name, so the public name that would appear on your page, gender, and orientation. So stage name, I'm just going to put experiment. Gender, female. Orientation. That stage name is already in use. Who's experiment on PH 2025? Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I have that one. Okay, so next is to type my legal name for a signature. I am checking the little boxes. Oh, if I get so much spam sent to my email now, you better like this video. Okay, here is the most important part that I think that I just wanted to verify before I continue with this interview. So it says identity verification. You can pause to take a screenshot if you would like. Stop focusing. Stop looking at me. Identity verification. You're almost there. The next and final step to complete your application to the model program is to verify your identity. You'll have 30 minutes to complete the verification process before your session expires. You will need one valid government issue photo identity document such as a passport, driver's license, and state and national identity documents. A full list of accepted documents can be found here. A photo of the front and a photo of the back of your identity of the document on a plain solid background to help your camera focus. Hello. Oh, where are you going? A live scan of your face for best results. Ensure your face is clearly visible. So at this point, obviously, I'm not going to put my information. I'm going to let this expire, but it does ask for ID. So it is as simple as signing up for an account on PH, which honestly, when you enter the site, it says, are you 18? And like, there's no real security when it comes to there. When it comes to the content being uploaded, obviously, you know, are people acquiring fake IDs to be able to upload, or if these victims are being trafficked, you know, all they need is a scan of their face and ID.
Checking ID to make sure that these are not children in the videos. They're not verifying consent to make sure that these are not rape or trafficking victims. And because of that,
Okay.
it quickly.
I can see where she's saying not verifying consent because, again, even signing up for the process, like, who's to say someone can't be forced to have their face scanned and someone can just take their ID and take pictures? I'll have you go to their channel to check that out. Again, I don't want to take all of the content, but I highly recommend you going to check out this interview. I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit. So, if you're on a website, okay, whether it's clothing, technology, really doesn't matter. When you start adding things to your cart, how they'll sort of recommend, like, you might like this based off what's in your cart. Okay. Sites like this use algorithms to basically do the exact same thing. So it's paying attention to what you're watching, it's paying attention to how long you're watching. It kind of learns what you like. Okay, she just finished talking about how when she started clicking through these videos, they weren't even in English, that it started recommending even more videos. And she started just going through this dark rabbit hole.
They're going to assume that you like that content. So then they're going to take you on a crazy rabbit hole. I call it like, just hellhole of rape. Like, that's what it was. And then you go and they'll show you more and more of the same kind of thing,
And so then the people would upload them and then make money, off of advertising on them somehow? Or who?
Yes.
You're not paying me a subscription to watch this video, right? But because it is my job, I monetize it, which means I put ads on this video. So the ads that you see before, during, after, the little, I don't even know if they do the cards on the bottom anymore, all of that will count toward your ad revenue and build up. So even though this website is free for you to use, these models and actors are being paid through the advertisement that's put on their videos. I just wanted to explain that in case you've never been paid by social media or don't really know how that works, very, very simply.
So they were selling 4.6 billion ad impressions on Pornhub every single day. So they were heavily monetizing this content. Now, the people who were uploading were doing it mostly for free. Like 80% of people who were uploading were just doing it for social currency, like likes and clicks and comments and shares and all of that. The reason why people upload to social media.
Right.
Some of them were doing pay to download content where they could actually do profit sharing with Pornhub. That was happening as well. But most of the money made from free porn is actually made by the corporation running the site, right? So by the end of December 2020, so they had grown to be the 5th most visited website in the entire world. So not just porn site, website.
Oh,
they had
wait a second. We're like talking Google, we're talking travel sites, we're talking social medias. Y'all are a bunch of
170 million visits per day, 62 billion visits per year. And like I said, enough content uploaded every year would take 169 years to watch. So they had 56 million pieces of content on the site.
Did you hear that? I kind of skipped over it a little bit earlier because I really, again, encourage you to go check this out for yourself. But she basically said that if you took for 1 year all of the content that was uploaded to this website specifically and lined it up, why do I keep banging my elbows? Lined it up, okay, back to back, it would take you 169 years to watch 1 year worth of content. That's wild. So how much of that is actually the whole point, the whole argument is how much of that is actually being thoroughly skimmed through and is, again, legal and not trafficking. And it's a little concerning to think that, like, that could be maybe a turn on for some people too, like a whole category, but that's a whole different conversation. That
by the end of 2020.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My battery died for a sec. I hope you caught the end of that, what she was talking about with the trafficking, because I'm very ignorant and I can admit that when it comes to the definition. I always think of trafficking like people literally sort of being like kidnapped and, it's not always like the Hollywood people in the back of a box truck. Sometimes it is actually people unwillingly or almost coerced into being in adult movies is also considered trafficking under definition. So I'm surprised. Like you said, a lot of people are surprised to find out about that. Maybe you didn't know that, maybe you did. But I think that's really, really important for people to understand that too. Even if you're in a relationship where you might feel like there is a power dynamic there, and if somebody is making you do something you don't want to do, especially monetizing it, well, at all, but then monetizing it, it falls under the trafficking definition.
You hear trafficking, you kind of think like, I mean, I picture literally like a train, like people commandeered from other countries, or I guess younger people that have commandeered and kidnapped in like a train car going across the country in the night or something. Like I think of it as a more like people like being smuggled across the border, or
That's what I was
I
thinking.
don't think of it as I guess the average person doesn't think of it in such a common kind of, I don't know if it's common is the word. I guess, yeah, the average person probably doesn't think of that it's that expansive.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, that's the way it's portrayed in Hollywood movies, and that's the way that it happens often, right? Sometimes. But, the amount of trafficking going on, if you think about non-consensual commercialized sex acts, this is massive. And
That's
so,
unbelievable.
yeah. We found out that they only had one person. So they had 1,800 employees. They hired one person 5 days a week to be reviewing videos flagged by users as terms of service violations, including rape and trafficking and child abuse. One person. They had a policy where they wouldn't even review a video unless it was flagged 15 times. Now, think about this. You're a victim. Say there's a child victim like Serena. She would have to flag her video over 15 times, because it had to be over 15 for it to be reviewed, in order for that to even be put in queue for review. And they had a backlog of 706,000 videos.
Oh my gosh, they're never getting to
That we're
everything.
just waiting for this one person to review them.
Yes. And they had, like we've discovered now in a recent filing in December of 2024, we found out specific instances of prepubescent child victims who had their videos on there for years, and they would have like 14 flags, 13 flags. And they just, like, that was the policy. And then the CEO.
Well, why so many flags? That's the biggest flag of all. Like, why so 15? That's a lot. That's a lot of. That's a lot.
And the executives.
All of this on Pornhub.
Yes. On Pornhub. Yes. And so I'm just grateful that we're having this conversation, because I bet most of the people who are listening to your show had no idea.
Yeah.
That this was happening, that it's ever happened, that this is an issue on user-generated free porn sites. And
they keep it up because it's content, right? Like you're saying,
yeah,
the more content.
Yes.
So she's going to give us an example about how these sites don't want to take down their content, especially if they've pushed it into the algorithm and it's getting traction. It's also making the site money. What is the real urgency to go through and shuffle through and make sure that all of this content is legal?
She is being tortured. The tags on the video, so the titles and tags were describing her abuse, that she was young, that she was being tortured, all of this. And we reported the video. We tried to get it down. Weeks go by. It's not coming down. Video view counts going up. We reach out to the FBI. They demand that it comes down. So they connect with the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children, who confirms this is a child. So they demanded the video come down. Okay, and then what they did was they took the video down, but they left that black box up that said removed at the request of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they left the URL live, the tags, the titles, the views, all of that. And they did that with so many videos. Why would they take the video down but leave all of that up? And it's because it's inventory. It's the URL.
Right, it still shows like an ad company that they're going to sell to. It still says, well, we have this many videos.
So you could search that,
we have
right?
The most videos,
yeah, the tags, the titles, like they'll still come up in Google search. Then you'll get to the site. You won't find that particular video, but the algorithm will then direct you to others that are similar. And
I think a big question is, why are these sort of tags being allowed? I know even like with meta apps, like there are certain tags that will get your page flagged. Um, why are things like torture, or I don't know what other tags they're using, but like, wouldn't that be on maybe the top of the priority list to look through? And then they're only hiring one person to shuffle through all this information. This is insane. Please check out this video for yourself. I'm going to save the rest of it because again, I want to get into briefly a bit of my own personal experience. Now, this is probably not going to make me look very good, and honestly, that's okay. We've all made mistakes. I was young, and and I say kind of because I'm still struggling with it a little bit. I'm grasping the idea that it wasn't even really my fault, that I didn't know better. I was a child between the ages of like 14 and I would say 15, especially, maybe 16. I went to school and I worked at a young age. I started working when I was 14. And so if I wasn't working or like hanging out with friends, I loved going online. I loved playing I was really big into role-playing games like RuneScape at the time and World of Warcraft and like stuff like that, okay? Like chat room kind of games. And another one was called, I think it's ImView. I always called it IMVU, but again, you like create an avatar, go into chat rooms, whatever. Chat roulette was extremely popular at the time. Omegle was extremely popular at the time. And it was extremely accessible for some of us teenagers. Things also that you would not even expect, okay? Websites like apps like Pinterest, okay? People are sending messages on Pinterest. You would not believe. I met three of my predators, and that sounds crazy to say, but I was 15 and they were all over the age of 18. I met three of my predators on Xbox Live, the Uno game. If you never played it, you're like, what the heck are you talking about? But you could have a webcam and you would go into like an Uno game and have like four people in each chat. Okay, I was like 15 years old. Either I met people through chatting on there, or I would meet people typically chatting on like chat roulette. And there was one, or actually IMVU was another big one. I was a hormonal teenager, okay? And I was desperately looking for attention. Not in real life though. Like I really liked the attention I could get from online and like from individual people. I didn't really like posting to like big platforms, and that's kind of important in this quick story. I really cared about the person that I was talking to. I genuinely was deeply loyal to them. Like even if it was online, they were still the only person I was talking to. I didn't like having a bunch of conversations at once. Okay, this particular instance, I think he was 50, like 56, somewhere in his 50s. I remember that age. And again, I was 15 years old and I had met him through that platform or game. And we just got to talking at first. And I think I exchanged, I don't know if it was like my AIM or whatever the heck we used to webcam back then. And as a 15-year-old woman, or girl, mind you, girl, that's important. I was a girl. I was shown my first like male genitalia and what they can do with that. And maybe that's why I like older men. I don't know. There's a lot of therapy that can go with this. But anyway, with this particular person, he made me feel so mature because I'm like, this older guy, like, thinks I'm sexy? Like, I thought it was cool. Okay, don't judge me. I thought it was cool. And so I kind of wanted to, like, show him how mature I was exactly. And so there was a website, and I swear on my life, if I remembered this website, I would shout the name from the rooftop. I would make sure that this website was shut down. I would make sure that there was no more of this nonsense going on this website, or like things were reported, because I took a picture of myself, and it was like a mirror selfie. And I had like a Razor cell phone at the time, or an Envy. I took a mirror picture of myself, and luckily, I say luckily, but it could have been worse. I was in like a bra and underwear. I'm not like super developed. I am 14, 15 years old. But I posted it to this website there was no identity verification. And forever, because I don't know the name of the website, I don't know what I logged into, there is probably a picture of me like at 14 years old in my underwear on the internet. Going back to my mindset where I felt like so mature at the time and I felt so sexy doing so, and a website literally allowed me to post my own content, my own illegal content at the time that I didn't even know. I didn't know. It happens, and it probably happens way more frequently than we are actually aware of. Again, check out the video that I reacted to down in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in my next one.